Hello guys, welcome to Tariq's class. So today in front of me I have this worksheet. This is a practice test math. I have put it into my Sigma online platform where the students have taken this timed test and submitted the test. So I have seen their scores and the questions they mostly got wrong. So I'm going to review those questions together. I want all of you to learn. And this is the practice test I have given this week. It was due this Tuesday, and they have already submitted it. So I'm going to just give the explanations so they can understand. So I'm going to start with question number 59. So this is one of the questions that kids got wrong. So angles A and B are supplementary. So supplementary means 180 degree. They add up to 180 degree. So they said A and B will add up to 180. But how much is each? We don't know. But they're saying the measure of angle A is 4 times the measure of angle B. Well, you don't want to just pick numbers and try it out. You could. But the faster is, we know that angle A is 4 times bigger. So I can say angle B is X. Okay. So A will be 4 times x. And what did I say before? Together they are 180. So I can say x plus 4x is 180. Now this becomes an equation. So x plus 4x is 5x equal to 180. You have seen these things before probably. So we divide both sides by 5. So you get x equal to 36, but they said what is the measure of angle A, which is 4x. So x is 36, so 36 times 4 is 144. That is the answer. Now the next question students got wrong more in the platform is question number 60. Let's try that. So a juice mixture contains 3/8 gallon of apple. So apple is 3/8. And 1/12 gallon of grape. So grape is 1/12. How many gallons of apple? So of juice per gallon of grape juice. Okay, now the per means division. All you have to do is just the gallons of apple divided by gallons of grape juice. So apple is 3/8, division 1/8, 1/12. Now we know how to divide. Keep, change, flip. 3/8 times 12 over 1. So that's 36 over 8. Simplify, okay, by 4. So you get 2 and 9, so it's 4.5, so 4.5. Okay, the next question, number 61. This is where a lot of students got it wrong. So 61 says, an ornamental bush grows 1 1/6 inches every 5 days. Okay, I'm going to do it on the left side. So the growth is 1 1/6 every 5 days. Not every day, okay, every 5 days. And the gardener cuts it off 2/3 every 5 days. So minus 2/3, he cuts it off every 5 days. If the bush was 15 inches tall at the beginning, so it was 15 already at the beginning. How many inches tall is the bush after 60 days? So 60 days, if I divide it by 5, so this happens 12 times, okay? So whatever this growing and cutting happened 12 times, because it doesn't happen every day of the 60 days. It happens every 5 days. So it is going to appear 12 times. So what is going to happen 12 times? Whatever this subtraction is. So let's find it out. So that's, first of all, that's 7 over 6, making it an improper fraction. Minus 2/3. I'm going to multiply this by 2, top and bottom. So 7 minus 2 times 2 is 4. So that's 3/6, which is half. How many times this half happens? 12 times. So 12 times the half is 6. That's the answer. Okay. Now, what happens is, one more thing you have to understand. It says, how many inches tall is the bush after 60 days? Well, the 12 times it will grow to 6. But remember, the bush was already 15 inches tall. And plus this 6 more inches. So total 21 inches. That's the answer. Okay. Okay, the next question is number 62. I moved it aside to the left, so I could do it here, more space. So number of families, it is a survey of 150 employees. So the table above shows the number of family members in each of the 150 employees. So what is the median of the families? So median is the middle number, 150. If median will be the middle one, divide by 2. That should fall, the 75th one is the median, 75th. We're like, okay, so which number is 75th? They said, what is the median number of families? Number of families is this column. So median will be one of these 6 numbers. So either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Now I'm trying to find out the 75th one. How it works is, this is a frequency table. They're telling you that 1 appears 9 times. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So 9 times. Then 2 appears 15 times. Then you write 15 twos and so on. And then 3 appears 38 times and then so on. 4 appears 57 times. We don't want to write down all of it. So after all this, we want to find out which one is the 75th number. So the first 9 number will be 1. So that's not the 75th. Then 15 more numbers will be 2. So 9 plus 15 is 24. Still not the middle 74. Then 38 more number. If I add 38 more numbers, which is 3. So that's 50, 62. Still, we didn't reach the middle, the 75th number. Means if I write 1 9 times, then 2 15 times, then 3 38 times. So far I have written 62 numbers. But I'm trying to find out which one is the 75th number. So then I'm going to start writing 4s, and there are 57 4s. So I'm pretty sure the 75th number will be a 4. So the answer is 4. That's the median. Question number 63. This one was a good one as well. A lot of students got this one wrong in my Sigma platform, which is online. Whoever doesn't have access to Sigma, you can get it on tariqsclass.com. It's SHSAT. It has it is very helpful. A lot of practice tests out of 350 each section, so out of 700, like an actual test. Plus the new test is adaptive, so it is kind of gonna give you the similar experience. So when you go to the actual test, it'll be easier, inshallah. Now, number 63. This year, Ranger Johnson caught 336 criminals, which is 5% more than Ranger Reeks caught. So 336 is the 5% more. So here you have to understand something. The 336 is the 5% more, means 105%. Okay. So whenever they say 5% more or 5% increase, you say, okay, 100% plus the 5%, so 105%. So Johnson caught 336, which is 105%. So we just have to find out, so how many more criminals did Johnson? So Reek is the 5% less, which is 100%. Okay. So if 336 is the 105%, let me tell you a trick. But before that, let's learn how to find percent very quickly. So let's say you have $40. You bought something with $40. And the store owner says you're going to get a 5% discount. How do you find the 5%? You multiply it by 0.05, right? That's how you find the 5%. But we multiply, right? Here they're saying that 336 is already the 105%. So we want to find out what was the 100%, means before multiplying it. So in this case, we're going to divide by 105%, means 1.05. Okay. we're dividing because we're going backward, because this is already, they have calculated the 105% for you. So you have to find out what was it before calculating the 105%, because remember they said which is 5% more, which is already 105%. So 336 divided by 1.05, you can do that division. So answer comes out to be 320. So it was 320, that's what is Reek. Remember Reek's, because he is 100%, Reeks, and the Johnson is 105%. Now they said, how many more criminals did Ranger Johnson caught? So how many more means they're looking for subtraction. So 336 Johnson, 320 Reeks, so the difference is 16. Okay, so that's question number 63. I'll say you can rewind and look at it again to understand. So one thing to remember is if you want to find percent, let's say you have $45 and you want to find 15%, so you times it by 0.15. Okay, so they say $45, which is 15%, which is 15% of a number. So what was that number that you multiplied by 0.15 and got 45? If you want to find that number, we do reverse. So 45 divided by 15%, which is 0.15. So all you have to understand is when to divide and when to multiply. Okay. Now, the next question they got wrong is number 65. It's a circle geometry. Geometry is the easy part if you understand. It's just we're dealing with a circle and a rectangle. And there's some shaded part, which is half the circle, right? Now, in the figure above, drop, D-R-O-P, is a rectangle. We can see the rectangle right here, right? Now, and there's a circle. If the area of the rectangle is 72, then what is the area of the shaded semicircle? Now, one thing to notice is, if they talk about circle, now most important part is their radius. What is a radius? If you have a circle, it has a middle point that's called center. From center, if you draw any line and it touches the circle, that's called radius. If you draw another line, radius. Radius. Is this radius? Not yet. Now, yes. And the two radiuses like this straightforward, when they make 180 like this, supplementary, remember, straight, that's called diameter, okay? So mainly radius. And in a circle, all the radiuses are equal to each other. Let's say this is 5 centimeters, so 5 inches. These are all 5 inches, okay? Now let's come back. So let's say this is the center. Can I call this a radius? Okay. Can I call this a radius too? Yeah. This is a diameter. So technically, this rectangle, the width of the rectangle is 1 radius, and the length of the rectangle is 2 radius. So let's pick two numbers that multiply to 72, because remember, area of rectangle has to be length times width. So I can say maybe 6 and 12. 6 times 12 is 72, right? Yeah, so you can pick numbers or be like, oh, I don't know how to pick. We know this is x, this is 2x. So I can say x and 2x has to, multiply to 72. So you can do that's 2x squared. Remember, when you multiply x and x squared, 72, then you divide by 2, you get 30 x squared equal to 36. But remember the last step, if you have a square, you square root both sides. Square root of 36 will be just 6. Okay, 6 times 6 is 36. So square root of 36 is 6. Square root of something means you multiply the same number twice. It will give you the number. Like 5 times 5 is 25. So square root of 25 will be 5. Okay. So if you don't want to do all this work, the 72 has only a bunch of ways you can make 72, either 6 times 12 or 8 times 9 and so on. So what you can think of is the two numbers that multiply to 72, but it has to be 1 to 2 ratio. Means whatever this is, the length has to be double. How do I know that? Because of this is a radius and this is a diameter. Okay, diameter is made out of 2 radiuses. So now I know the two sides, 6 and 12. They said, what is the area of the shaded semicircle? So forget about the semicircle, is half the circle. Let's find the full circle. the area. How do you find area of a full circle? Pi times radius squared. So this is one formula you must remember. Pi r squared. Pi r squared. R is the radius. R is the radius. So pi times the radius is how much, remember? 6. So 6 square means power 2. Square is just opposite of square root. If you look at the name itself, it is telling you 6 square is 36. Put a pi next to it. So 36 pi. Can I say 36 pi is the answer? Good. It's not. Because semicircle means half, and shaded is half the circle. The other half is not shaded. So all I have to do is divide it by 2. You're right. So 18 pi is the answer. This is a small trick. That's how most kids end up failing the SHSAT, even after knowing the area of the circle formula, the rectangle, even after figuring it out. At the end, they end up circling 36 pi. And they become really shocked, that surprised, how did I fail, even though I knew how to do it. So these are the people call it silly mistake, but they're good enough to get things wrong. All right, the next question they got wrong is number 68. And the other questions, you can see them, pause and try them on your own. And if you want more practice like this, of course, Sigma platform, tariqsclass.com. And if you're taking 9th grade SHSAT, then I have the 9th grade retake and other. I also have an SAT course that's called Apex. Cool names. All right, number 68. 2 glasses each are half full. All right, 2 glasses each are half full. If 1/3 of the water from the first glass, if 1/3 of the water from the first glass is poured into the second. So 1/3 we pour it into the second. All right, so whatever the second one will have a plus 1/3 in it. Okay. Oh, they're already half filled up, so they were half. So they were half full. So you added 1/3. And this guy, whoa. Something very serious. Take a look. This is already half full, right? And this is half full. They said 1/3 of this half was transferred to the other. So how do you find 1/3 of half? Times it by 1/3. So technically 1/6 was transferred to the other glass. Remember this. This is very, very, you have to be very careful in this. Now, because this wasn't full, that you can just simply take out the 1/3, we had to do 1/3 of the half. Okay, so half plus the 6, let's add it, times it by 3, so that's 3/6 plus 1/6, that's 4/6. If you simplify it, it's 2/3. Okay, now how much water is still needed to completely fill the second glass? Okay, the second glass has 2/3. You might think the answer is 2/3. Remember, I just said SHSAT has small tricks. So it's not 2/3 because they said how much more needed to completely fill it up. If you have already 2/3 filled up, you need 1/3 more. So answer is 1/3. Okay? Okay, number 69. So all these questions are excellent. You should practice the ones on the screen. So here it says 1, 16 minus 5n, 7. So it's like solving an equation. So I can do minus 16 from all 3 sides. Okay, all 3 of them. So 1 minus 16 is negative 15. I have negative 5n here. 7 minus 16 is how much? 9, right? Negative 9. Okay. So now I divide by negative 5 each and every one of them. Why negative 5? Because that's what is next to n. We divide by whatever is next to the variable. So after division, we get 3 here. But remember, when you divide by negative numbers, these inequalities, they end up flipping. Okay, so flipping. So 9/5 because the 2 negatives cancel out. Okay, so this flipping will happen when you divide by negative numbers. Then they said what is value of 1/n means they want you to flip this n again because this is n/1. So that will make the inequality flip again. All right. So 3 will become 1/3. This will change n will become 1/n. 9 over 5 will become 5 over 9. So the trick is when you divide by negative numbers, the inequalities will flip. If you flip the variable like this, then you have to flip everything along with it. So they're saying what is the value of it? Anything between 1/3 to 5/9. 1/3 is like 0.33 and so on. And 5/9 is 0.555. So which number falls in between these two? Does 0.25 fall in there? No. 0.5. Yes, 0.75 is too much. So answer is C. Okay, the next question I'm going to go for is question number 78, but you can take a look at these questions, try them at home. Okay? So 78. All right, question 78 is an interesting question. So these kind of questions are in Sigma platform, like filled up. It's like completely loaded. Plus English and a lot of practice tests, vocabulary, flashcards. It's a lot of things, guys. And it's, trust me, the value is much cheaper than what it's supposed to be. So take advantage of it as much as you can. It's a very good investment. I put a lot of work into that. So yeah. Now, what is the area of the shaded region? So this is a triangle. How do you find area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2, right? I'm going to use lowercase b divided by 2. That's the area. Now, what is the base of this triangle? 20 to 30 is 10, 20, 30. The height of this triangle, notice that this is an obtuse triangle, like a little bit tilted like that, like big here. So in that case, the height falls outside of the triangle, okay? Outside. So the triangle has, this is the height of this triangle from top to bottom, okay? So that's 10, 20, 30 as well. So 30 times 30, base times height, divided by 2. That's 900 divided by 2, 450. Okay, the next good question is 85. This is another one. So what is the mean of it? So you'll be like, oh, we know how to find mean. So we just add all the numbers and divide by how many numbers, of course. But when they give you a table like this, they're trying to trick you. So they're saying 52 of them, 64 of them, 75 of them. So this is a frequency table like we did the median thing before. So we have to multiply first. 50 times 2, that's 100. 4 times 60, 240. 5 times 70, 350. This is 80 times 4, 320. 270, 200. So now you add them all and divide by how many numbers are there. So total number of students, that's 2, 4, 6, 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 4, 15, 18, 20. So whatever you add and then divide by 20. So let's see how much you get when you add. You get 1480 divided by 20, that's 74 it shows. So answer is 74. Okay. Now let's do 86. Okay, so 86, which inequality has the solution represented on the number line below? So we did inequality like this before. Remember the one flipping the inequality one? So which one is this? So we can solve them quickly so you can learn as well. So -9 both sides. So it's like an equation. Okay, divide by a negative number. What happens when you divide by a negative number? Yes, the inequality has to flip. So x is less than -4.5. So this looks like x is less than -5. So this is not the answer. So we're gonna try the next one. -9, -2x is greater than 10. And divide by -2. Oh, we are seeing it. X is less than -5. All right, worked out. This is less than -5. You see the bubble is not shaded, okay? So the reason is 5 is not included, it's less than. If there was less than equal, then I would have shaded that. So answer is F. Excellent. Okay, number 88. If you're watching this part of the video, it already means that you guys are excellent students. Otherwise, you wouldn't be like studying till now. So for you guys, congratulations. So you have done the first part, which is motivated. You are motivated enough to take the test, but proper practice, proper material, guys, the proper material. So a lot of you do a lot of too much hard work, and when the test happens, you end up seeing things that you have not studied. or not taken enough tests, practice tests to see your scores. So then you end up getting less scores. So yes, a lot of practice tests, and best part is the Sigma does it for you. A lot of practice tests and the scoring. You can see taking test and how much is your score. For example, I put 350. Math is out of 350, and out of 350, let's say you score 254 in one test, and then you study. It gives you explanation right away, and then you study, and then a couple days later or the next day you take another test. You got, let's say, 270. You can see the improvements, and then again 290, and slowly, if you can cross 300, that means you're expecting a 600 above score, which is a big score. That's what you should target always. Best part is later, after 2 weeks, you can come back to the same test again and retake. It most likely shuffles the math part. And English, the vocabulary is excellent. I plan to put about 5,000 vocabulary words. I already added a lot, so I keep upgrading it. Those words, not only for SHSAT, in future for SAT, also going to help. So you should build up your vocabularies as well. So this is an excellent program, guys, Sigma platform. So it was very nicely done, alhamdulillah. Now, number 88. Mia showed the square flag with side length of 35 centimeter. Mia showed the square flag with the side length of 35 centimeter. Okay, Tia showed the square flag with side length of 36. Okay, they have their own square flag. So this is 35 by 35. The other one is 36 by 36 centimeter. What is the difference between the area of their flags? Well, this is not a big deal, but you just multiply 35 times 35 and 36 times 36, and whatever you get, you just subtract. That's all, right? So this one is not that difficult. I'll just skip this one. Let's go to number 89. So the table above shows the amount of ingredients needed to make 4 servings of cupcakes. So we're going to make cupcakes. So you need the wheat 1 cup, milk 3/4, sugar, and everything else. Now, what is the unit rate for cups of sugar, milk per cup of sugar? We did something like this, remember, the apple juice and the other one. So per means just division. So cups of, what was that? Cups of milk divided by cups of sugar. Cups of milk is 3/4 per sugar, which is 1/2. Done. So 3/4 times 2/1. Keep change plate, remember. So 6/4. That's 3/2. If you simplify, it's 1.5. That's it. All right. Next question I'm going to be doing is 91. So this question's this one. 91 says, in a certain state, the state's tax rate increased from 6% to 6.5%. Well, okay, so if the increase in the state tax on X item was 180, what is the value of X? Okay, so now in a certain state, the state tax rate increased from 6% to 6.5%. That's a 0.5% increase. If the increase in the state tax on X dollar item was 180, so 180 was the increase. Okay, this is an excellent question. The increase is the 180. All right. So this question I'm doing it for especially for my student Arvin, very dedicated student, works really hard. So this is for you especially, okay? And everybody else can learn, of course. So this one, what you see is that 0.5% and 1.80. So when they said if the increase in the state tax on X dollar, the item was 180. Okay, so 0.5% is the 180. That's the increase. Okay, so 0.5% is the 180. So they're not telling you find 0.5% of 180. They're saying 0.5% is the 180. Remember, we talked about either you multiply or you divide. Now you decide what to do. If you want to find 0.5% of 180, then you multiply. But that's not our main goal here. Here 180 is already the 0.5%. So we want to find out what was the 100%. So we divide 180 by 0.05. Well, by the way, it says 0.5%. So we have to be a little bit careful. 0.5% means you move the decimal twice, right? So, twice this way. So 0.005. Okay. So we have to divide by 0.005. So let's do the division. The answer is 360. Yeah. So what is the value of x? So it was 360. Let's do question number 103. A graph shows the proportional relationship between the number of minutes x spent on a test and the student's score y. So you know how we have like x and y. So they're saying if I erase the other grid, we're just going to use the quadrant 1. Remember quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we just don't want to deal with negative. So let's just 1 because they cannot have negative score unless the student is really bad. Now, so the x minute, the number between the number of minute x spent on the test and the score y. So 8 minutes spent, the score was 15. Okay. So let's say like that because that's what, 15 minutes spent, the x is the 15 and the score was 8 on the graph. Which of the following statement is true? So student score 1 point in 77 minutes. No, that's not, like 15 points, 7 points per minute. Okay, so 8 points, 15 minutes, yeah. Because the x is the minute. The first one is the minute, so 8 point in 15 minutes. Yeah, this could be a dangerous question. Silly mistakes can happen. So just be careful which one is x, which one is y. Done. Now let's do number 105. A driver plans to drive. Those who are like watching it for the first time, if you have done the worksheet already, you can watch. You can maybe pause and try the question on your own and then look into the video. A driver plans to drive 500 miles in 8 hours. Which equation describes the relationship between the time t in hours, okay, and the distance traveled d? If he does 500 miles in 8 hours, so what is the unit rate? How much per hour? That's 62.5. Okay, so 62.5, or I see what they did. So the formula distance will be 62.5 times the whatever amount of time, right? This is the answer. Now you gotta see which one is 62.5. So that's C. 125 divided by 2 is 62.5. Why 62.5 times the t? 62.5 is the distance it can travel in 1 hour. So you just times it by the t, the number of hours. It can vary. That will give you the distance. So in 2 hours, if we plug in 2 for the t, it will be 125 miles. If we do 3, so on, you know. So this is the equation that you can use to calculate the distance every time. Okay, the last question. Hope you're enjoying. Those who are up to here means you are definitely dedicated student. Write some comments. Let me know what you need, what do you think of this video, and what else you need. See if I can help. Now 113, and beside that, if you cannot get the Sigma, I would suggest you take the Sigma platform, which actually has my Amazon book in it as well. So the math section, the PDF of it. So you could also, but if you want to take the book, that's on Amazon.com, Tariq's Class Books. Now 113. On the number line above, what is the distance in unit between the midpoint of AB to the midpoint of BC? How do you find midpoint of something? So it's pretty easy. Let's say this is 5 and this is 10. If you want to find the midpoint of these two numbers, all you do is add 5 and 10. So that's 15 and divide by 2. So that's 7.5 is going to be the midpoint. So AB, the midpoint of AB, let's find that first. A is -6 and B is 5. So -6 plus 5 divided by 2. So that's -1 over 2. So that's -0.5. Let's find the midpoint of AC. A is -6 and c is negative 1. So let's do the same thing. Negative 6 plus negative 1 divided by 2. That's a negative 7 divided by 2. That's negative 3.5. Okay? So negative 0.5 to negative 3.5. But remember that negative 3.5 is more towards the left and negative 0.5 more towards the right. Because the number line, this is something like this. Okay? So now they said, what is the distance between them? Distance means you just subtract. For example, if I say distance between 5 and 8, it's just 8 minus 5, 3. Same thing. So this is bigger one, negative 0.5 minus negative 3.5. So negative 0.5 plus 3.5, so that's 3. Okay, so that's it for today. I will say keep practicing, keep working on the SHSAT practice tests, and do not stress. That's one thing. Plan it out. Those who are like motivated students, first advice is do not stress, and the second is proper materials, practice tests, and mainly look into the problems you're making the mistakes with, and those are the questions you practice again, especially. And for ELA, most important thing is vocabularies. You gotta know word meanings. Like for example, the word indifferent. What does it mean? It means not interested, right? They are writing, oh, he was benevolent. What is benevolent? Like let's say kind, right? Ambiguous statement. The statement was ambiguous. You'll be like, what does ambiguous means? Unclear. And instead of ambiguous, they can use obscure. Obscure means also unclear. Or obfuscate. That means also unclear. So without the word meaning, even if you are a good reader, you will not even understand what it says. So vocabulary, I have those flashcards in Sigma that's going to help you understand. Even though all vocabularies, I build it up, made them into 12 categories. So those 12 categories, like one of the category is academic reasoning. That's what we're working on right now. So in Sigma, the homework that I post every week, plus a lot of extra practice in that. So those homework, when you submit it, I get to see it. I give feedback if you want to. And also, even if you are not my student in person, if you're with the Sigma, you are considered my student. So you can always text me or through my platform, because there is a community, SHSAT community in tariq.com. Once you enroll for Sigma, you will be part of that community. There you can DM like a personal text and stuff. Like privately, you can text me about educational stuff, of course, whatever you need. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and best of luck. May Allah make it easy. Assalamu alaikum.